Life is camp. I don't know if I want to check. Your country. The age. Yeah. Now says, yeah. You might do it. No, I didn't know any there. I've had my sugar. That's what you're doing. Like the Spanish ones Office Amunet.
Oui.
Office.
La même chose. No. Two we on the field. We're being used. No, the même chose now. We've lost. See, that's coaching failure.
Yeah, I saw you there.
Max, who's got your keys?
That's all. But they don't verse each other.
Where's my sibling? I need two chairs.
They don't play each other,
I need two chairs for sibling. Like you guys are here, can someone run over?
This thing is trash. They like showing off pieces, but
Well, a good afternoon to you as the St. John's College Pipe Band walks onto the field of play through that long tunnel. It is, of course, a humdinger that is getting ready to be played. In the commentary box is Ruimbo Chakoreka and Brian Matamba. Brian, this is the stuff that huge derbies are made of. It is St. George's College on their home turf on Weaver Field. The Dragons taking on St. John's College, the Rams. Now, the first time they met earlier on this season, it was St. John's College who rammed through the George's Dragons. Now, today, do you think it might be a different story?
I think St. John's are the favorites going into this match, but you never know. St. George's might pull an upset. They're on home turf.
Oh yes, whilst talking about that, we're going to see how the Rams are going to come onto the field of play with that long tunnel, which is almost protruding to the other side of the field. You can expect this. I think we saw a little bit of this as well last weekend when St. George's played against Churchill, and we saw that long tunnel being formed for Churchill. But today, it is a key game. Why? Because both captains are back. Nathaniel Hungwe broke his arm. That was in the match against Falcon, and he has returned back to action, and he'll be leading his charges for the Dragons. Whilst the Rams also welcome back Captain Greg Pechi, who's also coming back into the lineup here. We also know that he got injured early on in the season, but ended up being selected for the Craven Week side. So the Rams are getting ready to roll onto the field of play. But Brian, maybe just take a pinprick as to who you think will be significant for this particular match.
I think for St. George's, Bere is one skillful player, and he likes to run a lot with the ball, and he's one person who could hurt St. John's.
Well, definitely. While St. John's, the Rams are ramming onto the field of play. I think it is going to be really tight today, because St. George's want to do a number on them as well. But anyway, we are going to be looking at them. And just behind us, off the screen, we are seeing the Dragons now preparing to get on. They're saying, "I am a dragon." Well, today the question is, will they breathe fire, or will they be conquered in their own dragon's den? That is the question that will be answered at the full time.
Yeah, that will be the question. And it will be interesting how St. George's going to play today, because last weekend they're playing in patches. Hopefully today they'll play a full game. They won't play in patches like last weekend against Churchill.
Well, here comes St. George's, led by their captain Nathaniel Hungwe, going onto the field of play. You did mention some key players there. We want to see Takaendesa. We know what Luciano can do in the back line. Brendan Mudzuiti, their flyer, they're controlling the middle of the park, but it also augurs well for St. John's College as well, because when you look at that scrum off and fly off pairing of Connor Grant and Andrew Robinson, they have been doing so well this season. The way that they click and understand each other has been quite phenomenal. They were also picked for the Craven Week side. We'll also want to see what the likes of Connor Burnett will bring to the field of play, but it is that midfield pairing there in the middle of the park, Daniel Erasmus as well as Majga. Believe me, what Erasmus brings to the table from that first center position is quite phenomenal.
Yeah, Erasmus is a skillful player, and even when he played for Zimbabwe, he was the star of the show at the Craven Week. So he's one player to look out for today.
Oh yes, let's see how they go about business in this particular encounter. Brendan Mudzuiti, who is on the ball right now, and he is going to be a starting play for us. Believe me, it is going to be blood, sweat and tears in this encounter right here on Weaver Field. They are gonna live their lives right here. For many of these boys, this will be the last derby day they will play in their lives at schoolboy level.
Yeah, for some it's the last derby, and it'll be interesting how it goes, but I'm sure they're gonna give it all today.
Well, let's just look at history. We can see in the picture there Talent Gandiwa. He is going to be the referee, an experienced referee, not only locally but even regionally. He is a very experienced referee, and he'll be taking charge of this encounter. It really needs calm nerves as a referee, because these are big matches that have got lots of emotions and have got lots of spectators watching you, waiting for you to make the right decision.
And lots of history between the two sides.
Oh yes, talking about history, we were talking about the fact that in more recent years, particularly prior to COVID-19, St. George's just ruled the roost, whether it was home or away against St. John's College. But no siree, not this season. St. John's College are looking strong. And with that, as players kicked off, looking down the line, that could be a horrible mistake there by St. George's, but luckily for them, they were able just to get some supporters on the ball and some runners on the ball. Mudzwiti trying to send the ball backwards. That doesn't happen. Stephen Kruger, he's a fullback. He loves to run into contact, and immediately he does so. Connor Grant to Andrew Robinson. Grant taking it through to, oh, goodness me, ball lost in contact. St. George's, can they draw first blood? Well, immediately stopped in their tracks by some good tackling. Ball comes out to Changunda. Changunda sends the ball. Oh, but really physical tussle there. But immediately St. John's College caught in an offside position. And with that, it is a penalty in favor of St. George's. This one is right in between the sticks. Call for the kicking tee. Don't go for the 5 points. You might just find yourself losing the ball if what we saw happening to the second team is anything to go by.
I don't think they listen to you. I think they're going for the corner.
Well, it doesn't look like he made much of a distance there. Just outside the 22. And, oh well.
But the 3 points option would have been a better option.
Oh yes, very early on in the game, get some points on the board, and that would have assisted things. But in any case, we're going to watch and see how this will unfold. And of course, somebody who would be nervous on the technical bench will be Ricky Chirengende. After 3 losses on the bounce, he surely wants a win today.
He surely wants a win. He wants to avoid a 4th defeat in a row. But it's going to be a tough one.
Well,
the boys
poor
have to
line
be
out.
up for it.
Poor line out. Andrew Robinson getting his boys on the ball. Majga sends it over the top here, and he has found some really good space. St. John's clearly have got lots of wheels, and that one was quite dicey there, trying to execute that chicken wing pass back to his fullback. Mudzwiti has to clear lines, and he does, but only just about the halfway line. And now the ball back, running across a little here. And now deciding to go for the kick over the top. Oh, yes, it bounces away and goes straight into touch. And so that will be a 22 dropout. Now, already you can see the kind of pressure that St. John's College are putting on St. George's. They cannot afford to have sloppy play at the back there, particularly for the fullback as well as the wingers. Once those balls are going to be kicked high in the air, because that will be a trait of what Andrew Robinson will want to execute.
Trying to pin St. George's in their own 22 there, and they've been chasing for everything. Whatever they're kicking, they're chasing for it, and that's what has kept St. George's at bay.
All right, they decide to go for a nice, deep, high-hanging 22 dropout. Picked up Daniel Erasmus. Let's see what he can do. Goes past one, spins out of another, pops the pass out. But that one doesn't give them too much headway. But that was some really good stuff. Not rolling away after having made the tackle. The penalty is right there. And it was Connor Grant who was looking to go quite quickly and see whether he could just gain a few meters. Andrew Robinson, no guesses as to what he'll do here.
Go for the touchline.
Oh yes, go for touch, because there's still some distance from where he is to where the posts were. I'm sure had it been closer to the 22, he would have gone straight for posts, get some points on the board, and put some pressure.
Yeah, already we can see St. George is on the back foot already.
Well, Sapo is coming here. Let's see if he can have a clean, straight line out. Sends it through. Well taken by St. John's College. Sent out by Robinson to Erasmus, who's looking to be quite physical as well. Back again, coming to the big tight head there. That is Gonese. Picked up once again, this time. Oh, wanted to go through. Robinson gets it out. Looking to go for a big hit and try to bundle it over. Oh, is there enough support there? Oh, well held up by St. George's. Some really good, desperate defending. Looking to go for it. Oh, what a tackle again on Attendale. Oh, well done to St. George's.
Good defense there by St. George's.
I mean, that's all you can ask for. All bodies on the line, because if anyone had just slackened there, it would have become really difficult stuff. But in any case, penalty. Muzwiti going for the kick. Not too far, just outside the 22. And at the present moment, a little bit evenly balanced, one would say, but St. John's clearly with the edge, because St. George's haven't really gotten ticking in this match so far.
Yeah, St. John's have dominated the territory, so I would say they have the edge so far.
So Matimbira with the line out, way over his jumper. It goes backwards, but the referee says, look, that one went in straight, and that is Hungwe getting onto the ball, and that looks like a high tackle there, and the referee has signaled that one immediately going into contact, so I'm sure they're going to try and work with the advantage. And Talon Gandiwa signals for it to come all the way back. And so, look, I mean, those high tackles have to really be cut out of the game by both these sides. Otherwise, they might find themselves in a pretty pickle. So Muzwiti once again going for touch. He finds a touch. And they're making meters here for free. For every penalty, they're gaining an odd 10 or so meters from their own 22, just roundabout to the halfway line. It's a good 20 meters that they've gained. Matimbira is on the ball once again to send it in. This time round, picked up by St. George's, out from Changunda to Muzwiti. The pop pass there was for a short run, ripped away by St. John's. They pick it up, and it is Grant, sends it through to Robinson. He goes for a kick and chase. St. George's have to come around here. He was looking for the pass. He goes past one. Now coming back on the inside. Does he have enough pace? He fends off. He's still going, but he is a little bit isolated there. St. George's, where were they? The players just letting their player run by himself. I think they were now enjoying the movie that was on show.
They were player watching there, no support play there.
If there was a supporting run, then I'm sure St. George's actually could have scored a try there, because it was very isolated. St. John's College defense was in total disarray, and they should have taken advantage of that. But with that, it looks like St. John's College are going to be taking the line out here. Sapo sends the ball in. Well, one back by St. George's. Now, can they send the ball down the line to Muzwiti? Again, a sidestep which was unnecessary. If you're going into contact, just go into contact, son. Ball comes out from Changunda. Big hitter from Takaendesa, but taken down immediately. Nathaniel Hungwe right at the base of the ruck, but Changunda taking over the duties. That one coming through to Mdanga. It's taken down, Changunda. A sidestep. Once again, being a little bit too flashy. Matimbira. Ball taken out. Looking to go into contact once again. So, building up the phases here, Brian.
Yeah, building up phases nice and slow. And gaining some territory.
All right, that was a good pass, a good running line as well from St. George's. But that one, this time round, it is a knock-on from St. George's, and it will be a scrum down in the favor of St. John's College. So a decent passage of play in this particular moment.
Yeah, a decent passage of play by St. George's. They managed to gain a lot of territory in that passage of play.
Well, we'll want to see more running from the likes of Takaendesa. We all know what a big, hard, strong runner he is for St. George's. And he will need to carry his forward pack forward here and just try to make sure that they can move in the right direction, but Connor Grant will feed. The scrum isn't set properly. There will have to be a reset. And Talent Gandiwa just alerting the boys that there could be a free kick if they continue. There we go. A good clean feed out for Grant to Andrew Robinson. Sending it out to Majga. Now to Erasmus, looking to send it out wide. These are the basics we're always talking about. Good wing play. Wow, he's gotten through a couple of tackles, coming back inside, tried to offload it, but just couldn't get it out of their hands. Well picked up once again by Grant, who arrived to the ball quite quickly. I must say Colville had a really good run on the outside there. Now ball comes out from Grant to Erasmus. Oh, to the big man, Gones. Oh yes, good leg drive there, creating another phase. Ball comes out to Robinson, sends it out to Stefan Kruger. He goes into contact, good leg drive. Can he push over? No, he can't. St. George's pushes back. Oh, another big tackle there coming through from Bere. Oh yes, and the referee finally blows. It is a penalty, not letting go after having made the tackle. And this is a good penalty here for St. John's College to actually put some points on the board.
Yeah, I think they should go for the kick and tee, but I don't think they're going to take that option.
I think they're feeling quite confident right now to actually break over and score the try.
Yeah, I think they're going for broke, going for all 5 points.
All right, let's see how they go about it. It looks like it might be going to go. It is. Big hit. Rolling out of a tackle. 1 or 2. Tries to go over, but just not able to go over. Grant sending it over. A pop pass. Can he go over? No, he can't quite make it. Ball comes out quickly. Going for another hit. And it looks like it is try time. Try time here. And it's the fly of Andrew Robinson who bundles it over, and it's try time for the Rams. So the Rams just ramming through the Dragons there and scoring the first 5 points of the match.
Yeah, well-deserved lead there by St. John's College.
Oh yes, look at the number of phases that they were able to string together. Even just from the penalty, they kept on hitting, bashing and knocking on the door. And I'm sure Andrew Robinson will just take this one quite easily, straight over the post. That is now 7 points to the Rams. St. George's have it all to do because they still yet haven't entered this game.
Yeah, they haven't yet entered this game. When they had the opportunity to score points, they picked the wrong option. They should have gone for the 3 points when they were in St. John's territory, but they opted to go for the touchline, and the set piece didn't go well for them.
Oh yes, and once the set piece doesn't move well, guess what? The opposition punishes, like has been done here. Munjiti goes for a deep, long, high-hanging kick. It bounces close to the in-goal area. Andrew Robinson decides to hit it high and mighty. Again, St. George's, I just feel are trying to be a little bit too flashy here with one too many side steps. They need to just go into contact to build the phases and build up that phase play. And then I'm sure they will be able to punch the holes that they need through the gaps.
Yeah, they need to go back to basics. Play just simple rugby. Don't do fancy things. If you play simple rugby, you always get the points.
So Luciano there sending a hospital pass. Once again, not successful. Sending it back to Changunda, and that one looked like a forward pass. And immediately under the pressure of the Rams, they have sent a possession back into the Rams' hands.
Yeah, unforced error there.
Unforced error after unforced error. I mean, what can we do? But in any case, Talent Gandiwa here will be blowing it all day if you don't take care of the ball by yourself. And if you continuously make mistakes, you will pay the price.
Yeah, you'll be punished dearly.
All right, so Connor Grant looking to feed the ball into the scrum again. And I'm sure there is a little bit of a wonder here. What do we do? How do we go about things? Looks like Takaendesa has moved from 8 and gone into a flanker position. I think they are looking for, once the ball is fed into the scrum, he can take it up by the flank because these are the new rules that are there in rugby. The flanker can pick up the ball and can actually go with it.
Yeah, I think so. That's why they have switched positions there.
So looking maybe just to go round the fringes, do you think that maybe the St. John's College defense might be caught off guard?
I don't think so. I think they'll be very alert. I'm sure they've noticed already that there's been a position change in the Saints loose trio.
Oh yes, let's see how they go about things here. Connor Grant getting ready to feed in the scrum once again. They have engaged. The scrum is bound. Connor Grant out. Andrew Robinson. Erasmus looking for that long pass. Lovely pass. Almost broke through. St. George's there. I'm not so sure if he should have actually let go of the ball and picked it up. But nonetheless, Talon Gandiwa lets it go. The way that these guys are understanding each other is quite ridiculous, Brian. It's just absolutely ridiculous. The smooth nature within which they're operating as the Rams is just totally bamboozling the Dragons.
Especially their running lines. They're running superb running lines here at St. John's College.
All right, so let's see how they go about things from here. Muzwiti going for another outfooter as he has been taking them throughout this first half. Looks like this time round he's got more meat on that one, but it doesn't find touch. It's just outside the 22 and picked up. Andrew Robinson deciding to go into contact. Grant with the ball out. Grant again. Erasmus, a sidestep, looking for a way through. Past 2 tackles, a chicken wing pass. Now this time round, another big hit coming through from their 8th man. Grant, Majga now kicking the ball into touch.
On the full.
It's on the full, so it brings play all the way back to where he was. And St. John's this time round making their own mistake. But look at that support, Brian. This is the stuff that we love here in schoolboy rugby and in rugby in general here in Zimbabwe. When the support comes out, it comes out in its droves.
Support in its numbers. And I'm also interested in how St. John's are playing. They've got some good support play and they're playing in pods. Some well-structured rugby there by St. John's College.
Oh yes, the amount of support play has been absolutely ridiculous, as you said, playing in pods. And with that, I'm sure St. George's will suffer. Here comes the ball. Luckily for them, that poor pass from the line out was met with St. John's being offside. And once again, the decision making here. Nathaniel Hungwe says, look, enough is enough. St. John's have got 7 points on the board. St. George's need to get some points on the board at least to keep themselves in this fight.
Yeah, keep the scoreboard ticking. Those 3 points will matter towards the end of the match.
Oh yes, so Muzwiti, who hasn't been a fan of kicking for posts too much, this time round has got an opportunity to make sure that he does.
Yeah, it's something which has been lacking in most schoolboy teams, having a sharpshooter, someone who can kick for post. That's why they're playing most of them the Corrida rugby you always mention, Rimbo.
Go for the quick tap and go, man. If it works, it works. But let's see if Muzwiti can get this one.
But this sort of games are almost like test rugby, so you got to have a good kicker. 3 points always matters.
He sends it through, but it doesn't look like it went over. Just falling short of the target. It was a little bit of a tentative kick. I didn't see his boot really going through there to give it the height and the distance that it needed. And with that, looks like it is a 22.
Not the best of technique there.
Yeah, a 22-meter dropout here. Taken by Andrew Robinson. High hanging. Enough for the boys to chase. Forwards here, sidestepping and dummying. I've never seen that. Nonetheless, Mudanga takes the ball into contact. Poor handling once again from St. George's. And finally, the referee does a blow for the scrum after that knock-on. So
I think St. George's are being flashy for nothing. some of the side steps are necessary there by the forwards there. Play simple rugby, look for your man, ball to hand, pass the ball, swing the ball wide.
I think one of the reasons why forwards bleed in international rugby is because they go into contact. That's some of the stuff that we want to see. Not necessarily people bleeding, but just doing the basics. Forwards are supposed to be going into contact. Go forward ball. They are supposed to be presenting that so that they can be quick ball by the scrum half to the back line in order to punch the holes through the gaps that would have been created.
Yeah, no, not forward side stepping.
Maybe watching a little bit too much of Brody Retallick and Sam Whitelock, maybe.
They might be watching them, but they always do the basics right.
Well, Connor Grant with a clean feed. Now looking to send it out. Andrew Robinson pops it to Daniel Erasmus. Inside pop pass coming through to their fullback. That is not Njunga, rather. That is Burrell. This time round, looks like St. George's are looking to turn over, but illegally. Connor Burnett, quick tap and go. Almost losing the ball in contact, but well protected. Now it might be another pick and go here by Edwards. But Grant. Well, this time round it looks like Gonese didn't want to go into contact. Picked up once again. Luciano being very physical, saying we're ready for you. Grant to Gonese, big hit. Finally goes down. Takes almost two boys to bring him down. Grant, Robinson, Erasmus, sending it out. Was looking to send it out to Colville, who was on the outside, but a miscommunication between the two Rams players sends the ball straight into touch. So it will be a line out in favor of St. George's. They are still trailing 7 points to 0 to the Rams on home turf. And we can see the Rams are in song on the far end there. And I don't think those songs will be dying down anytime soon, as long as they just continue to make the mistakes they're making right now. Well, it was a good clean feed, a rolling maul. Now looking to go forward. Now, if St. John's were watching Churchill last week,
they should have not contested.
They should have not contested, and that would have stuck the mole there. But nonetheless, it looks like it has finally come down. Looking to fend off was Matimbira. Changunda, ball out. Mujiti looking to send it to Nathaniel Hungwe. Good spin. Luciano on it. He's got some pace. He needs to inside run. Oh my word. What happened there to Njunga? What a lovely piece of play from St. George's, all going to an absolute waste. He was seeing acreage in front of him, and he thought he had scored the try before he had scored it, and he knocked the ball on.
I think it was white line fever there. He was thinking he was already in.
Oh, well, these are the moments that I say maybe you have seen yourself on the back page before you actually enter it. Score the try and then you'll enter the back page, son. But that was a really good piece of play from their captain, Nathaniel Hungwe. Spun out of one tackle, was able to offload the ball. Luciano with some good pace, finding the gap right there. That pop pass, that was the try. How did he miss that one? What happened there? I think Ricky Chirengende is pulling his hair out. I don't know if we will find him with any hair after this match is done.
Yeah, Njunga was in there. He was just supposed to just catch the ball there, and he was in.
And so we continue to monitor the action here. Well, it is a water break, and maybe that might actually be a pulling out of your hair break by Ricky Chirengende there. Because surely he is wondering what happened there.
They could have easily leveled the score there.
Well, in any case, We do say these things do happen, but I'm sure that Max Madziva will also have a couple of words to say to his boys. At that point, their defense was all broken up, and the advantage could have been taken by St. George's. We have all seen how that center pairing between Nathaniel Hungwe and Luciano is quite dangerous, and it had opened up a space for Njunga, but Njunga dropping the ball.
Yeah. My word, my word.
You're out of words, aren't you?
I'm out of words.
Well, in any case, after the knock-on by St. George's, it is the Rams who breathe a huge sigh of relief. 10 minutes left within this first half. It has been entertaining stuff, especially in the last 5 minutes, where St. George's are now seemingly getting back into the thick of things, getting back into the match, trying to make a fist of this one. They have to make a fist of this one. 4 matches or 4 losses on the trot would not be acceptable at all. Well, a clean feed by Connor Grant, looking to send it to Erasmus. Erasmus looking for an inside run. He knocks the ball on. He's made his own mistake as well. And St. George's look like they've got ball in hand. Now looking to spread it out wide. Luciano has got it, looking to send through a little bit of a grubber, but that was not going to get past Andrew Robinson. And with that, it brings the play back to where the knock-on initially happened, and it will be a scrum down in favor of St. George's.
Yeah,
now, I was about to call their alumni name, they're Old Georgians, but it's St. George's. Now, at this point, I would actually want to see a surprise. A quick-thinking fly half, a fly half who has actually got all of his marbles working in the right manner. St. John's College will not be expecting a drop goal in this particular moment. Brendan Muzuti, drop into the pocket, receive the ball, go for a Joel Stransky. He's got absolutely nothing to lose right now.
But I don't see that happening. I see them going for the 8-minute break. I think Takayendes, they'll go for an 8-minute break here.
Well, let's see if it's an 8-minute break or if they're thinking what I'm thinking. A good shove, 8-minute break, tries to pop the ball. And Brendan Muzuti has to try and find a way to get himself out of trouble here. Changunda on the ball, sending it to Takaendesa, looking for a pop pass, trying to break through the gap. Changunda with the ball once again. Now St. George's trying to force this one out to their tight head. Nikavaranda sending the ball out. Luciano, the ball out to his number 11. But that one was a high pass to Bikoko. Picked up once again by Changunda. To Matimbira, he spins out of one tackle, finally goes down, ball ripped away from him. No, you were supposed to let go of the man right there. And with that, the referee has blown for a penalty. That one is right there for the post.
It's under
Take
the
the
post.
penalty.
Yeah, they should go for 3 points there. It's under the post. But I don't see them going wrong decision once again.
I can see some St. George's old boys here about to tear their hair out and wondering what is going on there. Surely he should have gone for post, but he decides to go for that line out against a pack from St. John's College, which is arguably stronger than theirs, if they are to get into that mold. But in any case, we'll be watching it. We'll be observing it. Let's see what will happen at this point. Nikavaranda with the ball in. Taken by St. George's, but the line out was not in straight, and with that, it is going to be a scrum down and St. John's College ball. Well, it looks like we have been seeing very interesting feeds, particularly within the scrum here. Let's see what Grant will do as he executes this one, but Talent Gandiwa has to be watching out for this because we have been seeing some very interesting feeds into the scrum. More that are one-sided, one would say.
It'll be interesting how they're going to exit their 22 here, St. John's. They've opted for
8-man break. Big hit by Burnett. Wow, wow, wow. I don't think Bikoko saw that one coming, but finally he experienced it coming. Grant once again to Andrew Robinson. He'll go for a kick. Oh, charged down, picked up by Changunda. Can he release the ball? He does. Oh my word. To Mujiti, and that one was a knock-on. Once again, Brian, it comes back to what we're saying. A little bit too flashy there. Once Changunda had made the first dummy and gone into the gap, he just needed to have offloaded the ball. But he decided not to. He decided to go for a flashy offload. Mujiti couldn't get to it. And guess what? Done and dusted.
They've lost position there.
So it looks like our eyes were failing us when we were seeing the big tight head there. It's Magadzire. I knew him from somewhere. So anyway, good kicker downfield. And St. John's College can afford to allow time to keep on ticking.
What a kick.
That is a beautiful kick. That is a beautiful kick.
They've driven St. George's back.
Oh yes, close to 20 to 30 meters back. And guess what? It's a 50-22, line out.
Yeah.
Because they were able to get it just past the 22, and St. John's College will retain possession. We didn't create the rules, viewers and listeners. We only created what we call commentary right here in the commentary box.
But good interpretation of the play by St. John's.
Oh yes, and Sapo now going for the line out, coming all the way to the back. It looked like it wasn't in straight, but nonetheless, play goes on. St. John's College now going forward here, looking to press. Grant sends it to Erasmus. Erasmus looking to run at the St. George's line here. Immediately taken down.
Strong run in there by Erasmus.
But unfortunately losing the ball in contact. But he won't mind. They're in the 22 of St. George's, and they won't mind that at the moment. So the touchline here, we can see quite a number of instructions coming through from an experienced coach. That's Brendan Bryder. And we had generally forgotten that Ricky Chirengende and Tafadzwa Mende are with the Cheetahs. They are currently in Nyanga preparing for the Challenger Series in Chile. So the head coach for the first team here, Ricky Chirengende, not present, but Brendan Bryder is more than capable of watching over the boys and giving them the instructions they need. Changunda with the feed, and it's a penalty as the scrum was wheeling, and St. John's College are not going to take their time. Grant looking for a quick ball once again. Stefan Kruger looking to take the gap. He's broken through, and it is going to be try time. Stefan Kruger breaks through the St. George's defense, and it is try time, and the St. John's College are now leading 12 points to nil against the Dragons on home turf. Wow-wee, wow-wee. The Rams are not here to play games.
And this is a try coming almost at the end of this first half here. We're left with about 2 minutes before it's halftime.
Look at that replay, the way that he just defense there. The defense kept on drifting, but no one was actually closing down the space in order to tackle. And with that, Kruger lapped it up and he took the try. And I'm sure Robinson is going to have a 100% record as he sends this kick over. So St. John's College leading 14 points to nil, and already it's tough times for St. George's to try and get back into this match. Now look at the 2 penalty opportunities that they squandered when they were in the St. John's half. Imagine if they'd taken up those 6 points, they would have just only been 8 points behind.
Yeah, there would have been a converted try and a penalty.
Yeah,
in striking distance, but they're not now. It's slowly clawing away from them.
All right, with just about a minute left in this half, Andrew Robinson doing the wise thing, looking for touch, and he finds it very decently, just bounces inside before it goes out. Of course, the ball will belong to St. George's. but still the amount of territory gained there is quite immense.
Yeah, playing in the right zone there as St. John's. Some clever kicking there by Robinson.
Oh yes, fantastic kick. The way he finds touch, the way he's able to gain territory with his kicks is quite phenomenal. Matimbira going for the line out. Taken down. Changunda, Muzwiti to Nathaniel Hungwe. Oh my word. Oh my word. Takaendesa running the wrong line. And with that, it brings an end to this first half. It has been really entertaining stuff, but I would say entertaining in a one-sided affair. It is the Rams that are leading at the halftime break, 14 points to 0 against the Dragons of St. George's.
Oh, yes. Oh, they do not.
Welcome back to the second half of this derby day. It has been one-sided in the first half. In the commentary box, I'm Ruimbo Chakoreka and I do have Brian Matamba. Brian, your quick assessment before we kick off here of the first half.
St. George's were playing in patches and they missed out a lot of points. They left a lot of points on the kicking tee. They chose the wrong options when they got penalties. They're going for the touchline and their lineouts have not been working. If they gone for 3 points, it could have been a close game right now. But they're trailing, and let's see how second half, whether there's 10 words by Brendan Bryder at the break gonna wake up them and maybe put some points in this game, and we have a close game.
Well, that's all we can hope for, with Andrew Robinson sending that one straight into St. George's territory. Brendan Mudzuiti now looking for territory himself, but straight into the hands of Stefan Kruger, who is looking to go straight into contact, immediately taken down there, but he has already made some really good meters and he has passed the gain line. Magadzire going into contact there, looking for a big shove, and he makes a couple of meters himself as well, but that is a penalty there. Kept on rolling rolling.
Not releasing.
And not releasing. And so it is a penalty in favor of St. George's Mudzuiti with the kicking duties. He struggled to find touch in the first half. He has to find touch in the second half. And I think it's also to some of the kicking technique he's been using. He hasn't been sending torpedoes into touch. He has been sending the ball kind of like catapulting, so to speak. And that hasn't really given it the distance and the height that he would want in order to gain the territory.
It's more of a technique problem there by Mudzuiti there. Not kicking the ball the correct way.
Well, with the line out coming out quite poorly, St. John's College will continue to ram through. Burnett going into contact but taken down immediately. Ball comes out to Grant. Oh, good little hit there by the captain, Greg Pecci. Magadzire, he decides to pass to Robinson, to Erasmus, looking for a run on the outside. He goes past one tackle, stops just a little, now finally goes into contact just outside the 22. Grant sending it to Magadzire. Oh, poor handling. Picked up by St. George's now by Bere. Now can St. George's take advantage here? They go into contact once again. Building up maybe a couple of phases. Mudzuiti, take the gap, son, take the gap, son. Pops back, goes to Luciano. Can he put on the afterburners? Oh yes, he's going. He cuts back inside, missed tackle. Luciano still going. That's a high tackle and it is a penalty, I am sure. And that's a yellow card immediately for Stefan Kruger. He has to go. He had to make that tackle. He had to make that tackle, but unfortunately, he made it illegally.
It was an illegal tackle there. And he was almost in there. Had that tackle not been made, St. George's would have been in for a first 5 point of the match.
Well, it looks like St. George's has spurned another opportunity, but just trying to check here who is the young man in the sin bin from St. John's College. It doesn't look like Stefan Kruger. Doesn't look like Stefan Kruger. Well, he's wearing the jumper number 11. That must be Colville. He is the left winger. And St. John's College can actually get out of trouble there, but they were in serious trouble as Luciano was putting on the afterburners. Though I don't quite understand, if he didn't back himself with pace, why didn't he release it to his winger, who has got far more pace, arguably one of the two fastest boys in this college?
Yeah, you should have released the ball there. There was an overlap. He had two people in support, and they were left with one person. It was a 1 against 3 there. You should have released the ball there.
Yeah, but then again, it looks like the highlights got ahead of him. So it is number 11, Colville, who is in the sin bin. He'll be out for 10 minutes. That could be detrimental for St. John's College and could be a smile on the face of St. George's. Magadzire picks up the ball and he pulls 2 or 3 people with him as he's looking to get out of the red zone for St. John's College. Straight to Andrew Robinson, taken And it's an early line out. Once again, Mudzwiti, what are you doing? You're isolated. And with that, he might get the ball ripped away from him. And exactly that, Brian. What was that from Mudzwiti? That is poor play.
Unnecessary things there by St. George's. They're all trying to be flashy. Mudzwiti there should have released the ball. He was isolated, should have looked for support rather than trying to sidestep where there's no sidestepping.
Especially when he had the advantage of having Chaponda getting the ball in through a quick and early line out. He could have spread the ball out even as far wide as Bikoko, but he didn't do that. He lost the ball, and now, of course, St. John's College were clearing their lines, and the ball went out on the full, and so play will be brought back to where the ball was kicked from. Taken by St. George's. Bere sends it out. Mudzwiti. Now Hungwe. Wow, that was a poor take of the ball. A poor from Hungwe. It was a hospital pass, pretty much behind the runner, and there was only very little that the runner could do there.
I think St. George's are slowly getting desperate in this game. You can see the kind of passing they're making, the kind of passes they're making. It's desperate stuff here.
Oh yeah, desperate stuff. They need to get themselves on the board. Otherwise, time will continuously run away from them. But once again, as you look at the crowd that is continuously streaming in here at St. George's College, you would think if St. George's College was a balloon, it would have exploded at this particular point because people are just coming in. This is the only rugby match happening on the local scene right now. All the other schools that should be playing have traveled out of town. So everybody has come right here.
Yeah, it's packed to the rafters. Everyone is at St. George's today.
So Connor Grant looking to feed the ball into the scrum once again. And it goes straight in. And it's Connor Burnett to Grant. He pops it out. And it looks like it's a foot race on the outside. Oh, a tackle, a knock on. So St. George's have possession here. And now looking to rebuild from the back. I don't know if they still have an advantage. A really good hit. Oh, lovely fending off there by Takaendesa. Really, really good stuff. This is the kind of aggression that they need to show if they're to get back into this match. Unfortunately, it's not being reciprocated by many of his other players, but they have to go for some aggression. Mudzwiti now deciding to go for the kick, but he's just handed possession back. Stefan Kruger, a lovely inside out there, running across. It looks like he's gaining some meters. He wanted to go past him, but that was a knock on, but it looks like you kept on holding on. You didn't clear away from the ruck after making the tackle. And guess what? Andrew Robinson clearly is in the commentary box. He's called for the kicking tee. It's as simple as that, Brian.
Keep the scoreboard ticking.
As long as you're in the half of your opposition and you get a penalty, go for posts because they are points. At the very worst, if you miss it and it goes outside of the in-goal area, it's a 22 dropout.
And
possession comes back to you. This is simple basics. Oh, jeez. Maybe we need to be coaches, Brian.
It's easier said than done.
Most definitely easier said than done, but Andrew Robinson has got the kicking tee. Now looking to send the ball over.
And if they can manage to score these 3 points, they would have stretched the lead to 17 points.
And that would make it an impossible turnaround for St. George's with the way they are currently playing right now.
Yeah, scoreboard pressure will get to them.
So Robinson goes for it. It looks good, and it is good. Right in between the sticks, like a thread through the eye of a needle. And that stretches it to 17 points to 0 in favor of St. John's College. Now, I know when Ricky Chirengende spoke early on in the season, he wanted one over St. John's College, but right now, that dream is slowly fading away.
Slowly sleeping. 17-0, that's a huge lead to come back from.
Again, Stefan Kruger, it looks like he has sent the ball into touch. Goes out on the fall. And Brendan Bryder there, not happy at all.
He's not a happy camper. I'm sure. By the way his team has played today, I'm sure he won't be happy at all.
Yes, I mean, I'm sure he's wondering the same thing. When you get the ball, you're still free and you're able to make passes. Why are you going for the kick up front when you've got nobody who's going to be chasing in order to contest for the ball? You would rather run the ball through the hands, create some phase play, retain possession of the ball, and then be able to see what you can do from there. St. Get the green line out through. Changunda, Zwiti, Ungwe. Now out to Luciano, getting the ball out. Oh, can he pop it out? Oh, he should have held on to possession there. That is the fullback. It looks like he is hurt. That is Njunga. And the ball has gone into St. John's possession. Njunga is struggling to get up here. And he's also just livid with himself. Oh, goodness me. Mudzwiti is having a horrible one. A horrible one today. We had expected him to control things, but he is...
he's having a howler.
Yeah, he's having a howler. An absolute howler here. But all we can say at the end of the day is that these things do happen. You don't always have the greatest of days. But in this second half, St. George's have got to take all the points that can potentially come their way. If there are penalties that are going to be just past the halfway line, look, Mudzwiti, go for it. As I'm saying, go for it. It's better that it goes into touch and you get a 22 dropout in your favor than for you to just be kicking into the hands of St. John's College, who will come back and ram at you.
Because your kick is good as your chase. If you kick and there are no chasers, it's an aimless kick. You're giving away possession. So with St. George's, all their kicks have not been good because there have been no chasers. So they need to change strategy and not kick and keep ball in hand. Go for phases, string some phases.
Connor Grant, straight out to Andrew Robinson. Erasmus, looping run. The way these guys understand each other. Stefan Kruger going through a pocket here, looking to offload, but he knocks that one off. Goodness me, the kind of ball handling that's there on the park right now is quite appalling, especially from first-team players. Ball picked up by Bere there, but luckily enough, there was a penalty in favor of St. George's as the St. John's College were offside. But the ball handling in that last piece of play was quite atrocious, to say the least.
It was atrocious, Rimbo. It's not something you expect towards the end of the season. You expect people to be more drilled towards the end of the season and to be much sharper and immaculate ball handling skills, but hey, it's far from it.
Well, at this present moment, you're really wondering if the halftime team talk actually got through to these players. Matimbira is sending the line out through, has been well taken. Changunda to Mudzwiti. Wow. As we mentioned, a howler that he's having right now. The ball is not coming cleanly to the rest of the line. We've seen what Luciano can do when the ball comes cleanly to him, but he has not been getting any clean ball.
I think it's getting worse for St. George's. They played a bit better in the first half, but the second half, they've not got going, especially in this period.
Oh yes, struggling just a little. Do you think they need to go to some guerrilla rugby here?
I think Gorilla Rugby is the only answer if they need to score some points.
Takaendesa with a couple of big hits there, but he needed some supporting runners. Ball comes out. Good running line from St. George's now. Maybe trying to build up some steam. Ball comes out. Mudzwiti looking for the long one. Comes out to Matimbira. Taken, deciding to go through the gap. A little bit isolated. Popped up. Trying to go through the blind side, but there wasn't much space, so Matimbira has to try and find a way to turn around. Changunda to Mudzwiti to Bere, looking for the long pass. Coming down to the forwards. They decide to take the gap, but immediately taken down. Bere popping the ball out. Lovely little offload, cutting back inside was Hungwe, but he knocked it was a forward pass. Well, Hungwe knocked the ball on as he was going down, but there was a forward pass prior to that call by the referee there. And once again, the passage of play broken down by poor decision making, poor execution by St. George's.
And poor handling as well.
Oh yes, poor handling, poor handling, poor handling. As you can see right on the screen, the red side is silent, almost to tears. The green side is celebrating in song and in dance. This is the time that St. John's can celebrate in the longest period of time that they've been able to do a double over St. George's.
It'll be the first double in many years.
Oh yes, the first double in many, many years. And let's see how they go about things here. Connor Grant with ball in hand. The scrum is set. A big shove from St. George's, but held steady enough. Andrew Robinson to Erasmus. Oh, look at the way that they're just going about things here. Picked up. One too many side steps again. Isolated.
Unnecessary side steps once again.
Well, in any case, I guess maybe that's what's in the new manual of the rule book of World Rugby. Once you get the ball, the first thing you must do is sidestep, then go into contact. But anyway, the scoreboard remains like as you see on the screen, 17 points to 0 in favor of the Rams with 51 minutes gone in the match, 19 minutes left. I think the time is far too short for them to turn this around. And so it is a scrum in favor of St. George's here. Luckily for them, it looks like there was a penalty here or a scrum there, and they opted for the scrum there. Yeah. And that's where they're going to get it. It's just after the 10-meter line. For me, get the ball out, run the ball down the line. The 8-man break has not been working. The 8-9 combination 10 has been having an atrocious day today. Luciano Hungwe have been having a worldie of a game, but unfortunately they can't play by themselves.
Yeah, they cannot play themselves. You need good support play, but the support has been lacking in this game.
Well, it looks like Changunda sending it out to Muzwiti, looking for the pop pass on the inside, almost breaking through. He pops it up again, but luckily enough they didn't drop it. Quick ball to Bere. Bere sending it out on the far side, deciding to rush back into traffic. Now held up by St. John's, and that most likely will turn into a maul. Yes, the maul has been set, but it looks like it's a penalty for holding him up. Can St. George's take advantage? It looks like Takaendesa, who might have just gone into contact there, passed the ball down the line, son. You can't get past Magadzire. Ball knocked backwards to Muzwiti. Can he pass the ball out? He pops it out. Finally, they get over the whitewash, and this time it's a try. Well done to St. George's, and finally getting the picture and going over the whitewash, and now they've got some points on the board. Hey, I had mentioned that time might be running out, but who knows? This might be a magical turnaround here for St. George's.
Yeah, it might be a magical turnaround, but in this passage of play, St. George's, they just strung the ball wide, and they were not doing any fancy things, and they've gotten some points. Whenever they're doing fancy things, they're losing the ball. But there they kept it basic, ball to hand. The ball always beat the man, and there was an overlap.
Oh yes, there was an overlap there, and it was number 12 who put that try down in the in-goal area. But one of the things that I must mention, it looks like the captain, Nathaniel Hungwe, is not on the field of play anymore, so I would like to believe that that should be Mashoko, who has come on. And he's now holding fort for the captain. Brendan Muzwiti here, I don't think can afford to take time. He really needs to convert this one as quickly as possible because St. George's are behind the 8-ball here.
Yeah, St. George's are behind, and the clock is slowly ticking the wrong side for St. George's.
All right, so Muzwiti, can he get this one over? Looks like he's kicking with his left here. is a left-footed striker of the ball. He takes it, drags it a little bit too much towards the right. And so St. George's will have to be content with 5 points on the board. It's still a 12-point game with approximately 15 minutes left in the match.
Yeah. Now St. George's need to strike twice if they are to claw back in this game. So it's still an uphill task for St. George's.
Oh yes, an uphill task. But the simple basics that we were talking about here, Brian. Pass the ball down the line, draw and pass, draw and pass. And once they did that, it was good. St. George's now looking to be like lightning. Though lightning doesn't strike the same place twice, they are looking to do it twice. Ball coming through to Luciano. Oh, ball pops out. St. George's now looking to go forward. Hey, okay, son. Even the crowd said, son, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. And there is an injury in the middle of the park, and there's a penalty. Holding on in the tackle. And St. George's seem like they've got a spring in their step now after having scored those 5 points.
We're left with about 14 minutes before it's full time.
So the referee are bringing play back here, maybe having a bit of a discussion with the St. John's Rams here. But looks like they've gone for touch. The line out will still be in favor of St. George's. And now they've got some life, a breath of life that has been sent into the attack. And it was a poor line out, well taken by Magadzire. Look at his leg drive. Look at his leg drive, almost going into the young man who's injured on the field of play. And I guess that is...
Ref brings some stoppage.
And so the injury count continues on the field of play here. As we did mention before, these boys are going to literally leave their lives on the field. And a little bit of chirping here from the first team. That's the Rams against the St. George's supporters. The Rams are saying, look at the scoreboard. If you are going to be saying anything against us, and I'm sure they're well within their rights, Brian.
They're well within their rights. It's looking like a famous victory on Weaver. It seems like St. George's are facing defeat here.
Well, St. George's have got a couple of injuries and some tired legs now out there. The clock surely has stopped at this moment. And so it looks like finally the young man can shake off the cramp.
But just looking at the second half, I think in the last 10 minutes, I'd say St. George's has had more of the share of the game, but they failed to turn their territory and ball possession into points, only managing just only one try.
Oh yes, it definitely have failed to turn it into points, and I think it also remains a little bit of a mystery why they didn't take the points in the first half. But anyway, that is done and dusted. That is life. That has happened there. Let's see what they can do in this particular moment, because time is quickly ticking with less than 14 minutes left on the clock here for them to play. I think you just kind of feel that St. John's are now just going to be playing out the game, seeing out the game.
Yeah, it's more of game management here, which is needed by St. John's College. They've got a 12-point lead.
Well, Andrew Robinson sending the ball out to Stefan Kruger. He's been brought down. And there, Takaendesa was looking to take on the ball, but a little bit illegally. And the Rams are now looking to manage the game quite nicely. Stefan Kruger wants to run at the line hard, but taken down by Mudriti. Muzwiti rather. And a good turnover by St. George's. Now can they play some guerrilla type of rugby here? They need some individual play from somewhere to get more points on the board. A good line that's being run. Luckily, he didn't lose the ball in contact. Picked up. Oh, lovely little pass.
What
now
a
going
break.
through. It is the number 12 who scored the try. But he has been brought to ground. Good clearing of the ruck there by St. George's. If they can get quick ball out, they can catch St. John's in an offside position. And there it is. It looks like the signal has been given. Bere breaks through 1 or 2 tackles, but he's immediately taken down. So some good go forward ball. Changunda looking to get the ball out. Muzwiti, a sidestep, comes back inside out, still on his feet. Oh, really good running. So St. George's have got some fire in their belly now. Looking to break through. It looks like he has broken through, and it is try time. Well, St. George's are refusing to go out into the night. That looks like their number 6, Garande, who has gone on and dotted down that try. He has said that usually as St. George's in these fixtures, we are the comeback kings, and it looks like right now they're on the trail to a comeback. Look at that replay. Garande gets the ball, breaks through 1 tackle, breaks through 2, he stretches over, and it is try time.
Yeah, they're playing some guerrilla rugby like you mentioned. It's the only way they can get back into this match. And they're now within striking distance. If they can manage to convert this, they're surely close to coming back in this game.
Oh yes, at the moment they will be 10 points to the good, but they now need this conversion to go over to turn it into a 1-try game. Here comes Muzwiti rather. And he's gotten it over. So, St. George's are scripting a very, very unlikely comeback. St. John's College were leading 17 points to 0 at one point.
But
Now,
it's
they
now
are
5
only
points.
it's only a 5-point game here.
A converted try will win the match for St. George's.
Oh yes, definitely a try could actually do it for them. Well, a converted try, that is. But let's see how they will go about business from here. They cannot afford not to, or rather to have a poor ball handling. And over they go. St. George's now with some urgency, running some good lines and making the Rams defend here with their lives. Muzwiti sending the ball out. Oh, lovely fend off. But it's difficult to get past Magadzire. Finally goes to ground. Changunda looking for the ball. Bere tries to go through the gap, but he's taken down. Changunda, Muzwiti, and good sidestep. Breaks through 2 tackles. He's looking for the support. Again, another sidestep. He pops the ball out to Luciano. He pops the ball out on the far side, cutting back inside. Oh, St. George's are looking to press forward here. Just 5 meters out. If they can get the ball out and press forward for the try box. Finally they are pushed into touch. But wow, what a piece of play, Brian.
Seems like the tails are up for St. George's. They're smelling blood here.
Oh yes, they're smelling blood, and they look like they are going to be taking on some lamb chops if St. John's College do not defend very well in this particular moment. Of course, there is another injury there for St. George's, but what a comeback, what a fight back from St. George's. This is exactly what we wanted. So today, it's either the Dragons will have their fire shut down, or rather the Rams will be turned into lamb chops. What will it be, Brian, in your opinion?
It's still a close one here. Let's just see what happens.
Well, with the line out going through, the Rams pick up on that one quite nicely. They'll look to kick the ball out. Erasmus looking to just create more space so that Andrew Robinson can have a clear sight here and kick it out for touch. He kicks it into touch, but that will be a line out in favor of St. George's. And remember, there's still more time left on the clock, just about 5 minutes left. If St. George's can get this one and convert it, they'll break the hearts of the Rams, and I'm sure the Rams will leave here with a real whimper.
Surely you remember. It's turning out to be a nail-biting stuff match here on Weaver.
Oh yes, it was quite one-sided in the first half. but now it looks like it is now becoming a more evenly balanced match.
What a comeback by the St. George's Dragons here.
Well, it looks like there's a substitution for the Rams, as the parents from the Rams are just putting together a round of applause for a good game indeed. Ball comes through, taken down by St. George's. Can they pick up? Well picked up by Mudzwiti. It drops the ball, but it's backward. Changunda sends it out to Hungwe. Hungwe is back on the park now. Ball picked up. Good running line. Big hit. Quick ball from Changunda. Lovely little pop pass, but that looked a little bit high there. I'm not so sure if the referee saw that one. Takaendesa takes the ball up, sending it out. Once again, draw the man and pass. No, what a horrible pass on the outside. And that could have been it. But who knows? Maybe it could have been a tackle as well. But that ball goes straight into touch, and it will belong to the Rams now, who have to manage this game. Game management is necessary. 4 minutes left in this encounter.
The ball not going to hand there. The last piece of play, they almost were in St. George's there.
Oh yes, almost in. At this point, run the ball down the line. The center pairing is back. Hungwe, Luciano, we know what they can do in the middle of the park. Mudzwiti has now come alive towards the end of the game. He's had a horror show for pretty much the bulk of this match, but now he's coming alive and he's doing much better. So if he can get the ball out to his center pairing, believe me, these boys in the midfield can do quite a lot for him.
It's more of redemption by Mudzwiti, because he had a horror show, but now he's in the game now.
Oh yes, that scrum not set nicely. It will be another reset here by these boys. And I'm sure a few nerves that might just be going through St. John's College right now, as they're wondering, what can we do to shut this game out? Again, time is flying. That's a feed. Team straight. Erasmus looking to run strong, but immediately taken down by St. George's, looking to contest, but the ball is already out. Robinson goes for another kick for touch. He knows that the lineouts have not been too great from St. George's, and so he will keep on kicking it into touch, expecting to contest at the lineout and running the clock down.
Best option, you always clear your line. Don't play risky rugby in your own red zone.
Oh yes, most definitely. So it is a line out, a bit of a discussion between the Dragons. They need to get it right. Oh, how you wish you could opt for a scrum when you've got a line out. I'm sure St. George's would say that one would be a better contest, but
because the scrum, you always get 8 defenders out of the equation.
Oh yes, and then you are able to really punch holes. Now the support from the Rams is coming in. St. George's supporters are still anxiously waiting for the scores to be tied. Well taken by St. George's, looking to go forward. Does it collapse or not? It looks like it did. And Talent Gandiwa says that one is a scrum in favor of the St. John's Rams. I'm not so sure how he came to that conclusion, but then again, I am a commentator. He is the referee.
An interesting decision there by the ref. I thought it was I thought it was a proper line out, but I think he has blown for truck and trailer.
Well, and then again. So St. John's Rams here are now just winding down the clock. And I'm sure if they get it to Andrew Robinson, he's going to look to kick for touch. Well, they decide to play on. Running back inside. Can they contest? No. Well protected. St. George's pushing forward, but couldn't get to it. So, really good by St. George's now, trying to protect the ball. Changunda sends it out, deciding to go back into contact once again. St. John's looking to rip the ball away. No success. Changunda, ball out, sending it to Luciano. Luciano running at the line, decides to go for a grabber. That was charged down. St. John's retained possession, and I'm sure they're going for a kick and chase. Bounces. He is relaxing here. A lovely little sidestep, but I don't think it means anything. That one has been taken over by Stefan Kruger. He's going for the grubber. It goes through. He decides to go into contact, a little isolated there. He needs some support. Changunda to Bere. Bere down, he is also isolated. St. John's contesting for it. Changunda gets the ball out to Mzwiti. Long pass, it's on the outside. Do they have enough pace? He pops it up, pops it out again. Does he have the wheels? He has to come back inside. He does. Oh, taken down, pops it up. Matimbira, can he make it? He has! He has! Matimbira scores the try. Brian, what a phenomenal piece of play by St. George's.
Yeah, they kept the ball alive, and they've been rewarded for keeping the ball alive. When you play simple rugby, ball to hand, draw your man and pass and offload, you always get the points.
Look at that offload. Once it got to Matimbira, he had acres of space. He was not going to be stopped. He refused to be stopped, and he bundled over. So it is the try. But here is the decisive moment. This is the moment where big boys are made. Look at the crowd in anticipation. St. George's here are hoping to break St. John's College hearts. This would be the comeback of the season, Brian Matamba, from 17 points to nil down. Now they are 17 points each. What is going to happen right here?
Mzwiti with the all-important kick here.
Oh yes, he's got to get it right. If he doesn't get it right, then hey, they'll just have to share the spoils.
But what a match.
What a match, what a match, what a second half, one must say. So it is a kick that is long way out. It is at a pretty difficult angle. I know all those green blazers in the screen will be wanting to disturb him not to make that. You can see them watching intently. You can even see the lady there. Oh, goodness me. Mujiti goes for it. It doesn't look like he has it. It's poor. And Talent Gandiwa blows to end this encounter. I think a befitting end to what has been a cracking match. The captains came back to lead their sides in this derby, which they needed to be present in. No, it is done and dusted, Brian, but what a befitting end. What a befitting end to this encounter. The first half, it belonged to St. John's College. They totally railroaded St. George's. St. George's had no plan for the Rams, but when it came to the second half, particularly in the last 19 minutes, when we thought it was over and done, guess what? It is the Dragons that came through and they were breathing fire. And this match has to end 17 points apiece.
They always say that second half is the coach's game. And if you look at the second half, how St. George's played, it means the coaches really gave them proper instructions. That guys, keep it basic. Let's play some rugby. Let's draw the men and pass. That's what they did all second half, and they scored 3 tries.
Well, that's the end of the match. 17 points apiece in this Saints derby right here on Weaver Field. What a comeback. Comeback for the ages.